So this Saturday, what happened was a whole host of our FitFlex community who are in Brisbane got together and had a bit of a lunch. And one of the things that we were talking about was online workouts. And one of the ladies actually mentioned to me that she has said to multiple friends, hey, why don't you come and work out with us online? And their response is, oh, I couldn't do that. And so I said to them, well, do they actually go and work out anywhere else? And she said no. And I said, I wonder what it is about online workouts that, we put up those roadblocks and we think that we won't get, the best possible workout from doing it online as opposed to, doing it in person. So what I want to start with today is, well, what are the different ways that you can work out online? So the first thing is that you could do an online PT session, personal training. The second thing is that you could do, you might have a fitness website or a platform where you've got a combination of live sessions and pre-recorded sessions. The other thing is social media workouts. Oh my goodness, I see lots of those coming through these days. And then the other one that I came up with was those virtual reality type workouts, fitness games, all those types of things. So that's another way to get workouts in online as well too, or just in your space where you are, you're not having to go out anywhere. So we're going to dig into this online workout topic today. So I'm Peter, and we've got, who else here?
Sal, hello.
Sue, hi everyone.
Okay, so girls, you excited for this topic today?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to start off with going, well, what's the right type of online workout for you? Would you do like a live group environment, or would you do a pre-recorded? So I'll go with the pre-recorded workouts. These are for women who want, let's say, flexibility, convenience, variety, accessibility, and they also want it to be, they themselves are probably self-motivators. Would you say they're self-motivators? If they're going to be just
Yes.
working out with a pre-recorded
Yes.
thing? Yeah. So they're not really looking for support or accountability. They simply just want to work out.
I think I would go for something pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Purely because I'm uncoordinated. I would need that stop start button so I could rewind, go back. Okay, this is how I need to do it correctly.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
that's a good point.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, yeah.
mm.
That's a good tip as well too. I know for me, I do pre-recorded, so I will do pre-records. So I will go, okay, what do I want to do today type of thing. I'm feeling like I need to improve balance, so therefore I'll do a balance focus workout. Or hang on a minute, I need to do a little bit of endurance work, so I'll pick the one that I know that I need to improve on. So, and I do like pre-recorded workouts. So, yeah. But so if we moved off of those to, let's say, group environments, so, and personal training. So primarily, I would say that the key difference here is the level of attention and support that you get. So if you're working one-on-one, it's very individualized. So generally, if you're working in a group environment, doesn't matter whether it's online or in person, you're all going to start at the same time. You're all going to finish at the same time, and you're being led by, a trainer or a coach. So you get some modifications, you'll get corrections along the way, but it's not specifically individualized.
I think with our online that we do in Strong Health Women with the Zoom session coming from a trainer,
Yeah.
it's great from my perspective because I can like, we can zoom in on a particular, we pick up straight away if someone's not doing a squat right, or they're not lunging right, or their posture's off a little bit. But I've also taught in group fitness in a gym, and that's a lot harder to do, having that one-on-one and being able to correct people in a gym.
And I think, for example, when you've got a group fitness class, if you're at a gym, or if I actually haven't come across many apart from our, Strong Healthy Women group classes, and it's different to what I'm going to say. In a gym, it's sort of like at school. In the olden days, we used to have, say, 30 plus kids in a class. And you just cannot give each person the attention that they need. So I think whilst it's good to go out and do a class and a group session, it is harder on the trainer because we and the people going, because we can't give them that individual attention. When we've got the Zoom classes, where we can have as many people as we want, but we've got a lesser number at the moment. So much easier to be able to say, well, okay, Peter, just make sure you're doing this, or Sal, you've got an injury, so I can give you an alternate. And as you said, it can be more one-on-one, and we are there live with the people as they're doing the session. And I just think that's good.
Can I just add to that too, like, thinking about those group fitness classes, and I know you ladies would have gone, to step back in the day and all those sort of things. Being that new person, the first place we go, back of the class to hide.
Yes.
And everyone who has been there the longest are always up the front of the class. So that new person is at the back of the class hiding, where when you go onto an online platform, as we said, doesn't matter what it is, using FitFlex, for example, coming into our studio, everybody, you might see, 12 people on that screen in front of you. Those 12 people are seeing one person, that's the trainer. So they're not watching anybody else doing anything. So I think that your confidence is a little bit more up, being a beginner coming into a situation like that, because there's not all these eyes on you.
And I think, Sal, that is a good point, because one of the deterrents for starting an exercise program is the fact that, I'm worried what other people are going to think of me. Whereas when you're actually in a group environment and you're working out at home, nobody is actually focused on you. They are wholly and solely focused on themselves and what they need to do. So, and look, I know that with our numbers, they fluctuate depending on, how many women are working out at any given time slot. And, and this time of year is when they all start to go on holidays. So from here to August, we always have these lower numbers. So this is a perfect time if you're actually thinking about actually starting a fitness session and you want to come along and join us at Strong Healthy Women. Perfect time to start. So, but who would suit, those group environment classes online? So I would say it's someone who is needing some motivation and accountability, that they want some type of social connection. They're also looking for some type of variety and direction from their workouts. They want the convenience, they want access to expert trainers. So I don't really think that there really isn't a lot of difference between working out online and being in person. So I've run both types of group sessions, and I know what you're saying there, Sal and Sue. From a trainer's perspective, we have to be better communicators, but we are good communicators because we are group trainers and personal trainers anyway. So anybody who's in that environment is generally a good communicator. So that means that by the time, if I was working out in a group in person, by the time I got from one end of the place, checking somebody's form and technique, I would get up to the top of the place and I'd turn around, and the person down the back end, they were having a general chin wag with the person who was next to them and opposite them. So I know that the ladies in our FitFlex community have all said exactly the same thing. We work out harder. We are more focused on ourselves, our workouts, because we know that your eagle eyes are there. You are picking up every single thing, because it doesn't matter what that size is. We have access to our, our big screens at home, and we can see every single person. And then the next part to add to that is that, when I'm looking at someone's technique, what I do is, like I'm writing notes. So I've got a few notes here. So I'm looking at, where the limitations are. And so what I do is I pop in and I do these quick little 1-minute videos, and then, tag whoever needs to be aware of, here's something to look at next time you come to the session.
Mm. I think that's the other part too. It's a bit more formalized in that way. And you like, if you just do an online pre-recorded,
yeah,
it's not tailored to you. So you don't, and I'll do pre-recorded, but that's because we are more experienced. If you're a beginner and you're just starting out, a pre-recorded one, there are beginner ones and they're easy things and that sort of thing, but you're not getting that interaction with the person who's doing the session. They've just pre-recorded it and they've done it one, this is the exercise. You may be lucky to get some alternates if you can, but there's no correction of what you're doing. So if you're a beginner in particular, you're prone to maybe be injured because you're not doing the exercise correctly, and there's no one saying to you, oh, hey, you're not doing that right. So there's a lot left to the person for their own responsibility to be doing that workout, not just motivating themselves to do it, but also making sure they understand what they're doing and how they're doing it. So the other thing is that perhaps, I've seen some that are for over 55s and suddenly you're put into the gentle exercise category.
Please.
Doesn't matter if you are as soon as you turn 55, you must be doing gentle exercise, which we know is not right. And so you may not be getting the same benefit either, because you're probably not challenging yourself, because you're being told that this is a nice gentle exercise, this is what you should be doing. So whilst, as I said, I do pre-recording, I think you need to be someone who's been doing it for a long time and have experience. And then I might just want to do something at 10 o'clock at night. I don't, but that's the convenience there, because you can do it at any time, but you're not getting that direction, you're not getting the correction, and you could be more inclined to get injured.
And we know, sorry, Sue, with that correction and that sort of thing, we know that people are not always guided by words.
No, good point.
Switched on straight away to the visual. It can be a couple of times of us saying, okay, well, this is where I need you to put your foot. No, this is where I need you to put your foot. No, if you could put your foot this way, and then it's, okay. So it's not always that easy to do a pre-recording. And, as I said before, I love them because I can stop and start. But doesn't mean that I may pick up the technique straight away.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is a really, really important aspect, that if we are not conscious of how we're holding our body, how we're moving our body, then we are putting ourselves at greater risk of creating some type of issue in our body. And the ladies this morning said, we always hear there's always one thing that there's a focus there, you know, particularly with, you know, my sessions, you know, and they'll probably have something different for each of you when you're doing a session as well too. And they said there's always this one thing that you seem to focus on, you know, each session, and it's always something different. And Alison actually said to me, and today it was shoulders down, shoulders relaxed, shoulders down, shoulders relaxed, chest up, shoulders down, shoulders relaxed, chest up, you know. And I said, yeah, because what I could see there was rounding in the shoulders. So what that means is we're now starting to compromise ourselves. And when we were doing our flex part, I said, let's lay down, let's just do that quick body scan. I want you to actually see whether there's any aches, pains, discomfort, you know, anything that you're noticing, because take a mental note. At the end, I'm going to ask you that. And one of the ladies said, my neck and my shoulders. And I said, yes. And do you know why that was? Yes, Peter, it was because I was not actually relaxing my shoulders. I said, yes, that is correct. But don't worry about that, because I will do a quick little snippet of a video for you to explain what's happening with your body so that you've got more information. So next time it doesn't happen.
And these are clients that have been with us 5+ years.
Oh,
you know?
Totally.
So it's not a matter of, it doesn't matter whether you're going to a group fitness class in person, pre-recorded, or in person online.
No.
Your technique you can always go back into those old ways. You know. So yeah, it's for me, it doesn't matter whether I'm teaching online or in person. My first rule of thumb is perfect technique. That's what I focus on.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that, you end up with an injury.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, coming back to those fitness foundations that we always talk about, you know, women go off and they start doing, you know, step number 4 instead of focusing on step number 1. And that is stability. They don't focus on, you know, building strong, stable core muscles or, you know, having good balance. They go straight off and, for example, start lifting weights. Well, if you haven't got this step right first, then again, you just simply put yourself at risk, and you don't want that. You know, look, we suffer from enough aches and pains as we're aging, just that natural progression, that we don't need to add anything else into the mix.
That's right.
Now, let's talk about PT sessions. So when you're doing online PT sessions or when you're doing face-to-face PT sessions, they're both exactly the same. They're focused on your fitness goals, your abilities, you know, the limitations you've got, and you're going to be getting detailed feedback, particularly on your form and technique, which is what we've been talking about. And the individualized attention is particularly beneficial from people who have got injuries, chronic conditions, or any specific needs. So when you're thinking about which option is going to be best for you out of those 4 options, it's like, where do I fit in this mix? You know, if you're just someone who needs that little level of motivation to get started, as an example, you might actually start with a fitness video game, because there's a bit of fun associated with it. So you're just getting yourself moving. It might be a dance game, you know, it could be a tennis game. It wouldn't matter what it is, but you're just getting yourself moving. But if you are someone who has specific needs, then it's PT all the way. And if you're someone who is a little bit more conscious of the cost effectiveness of it, then group environment is the next port of call. And if you're a self-starter, then I would say pre-recorded is the way to go. Or if you're someone who is suffering from hectic life syndrome, so you've got so much going on that you don't have a lot of time, then pre-recorded, because then you can do it when it suits you. But here's what I'm going to say about pre-recorded. You still have to create a level of routine with it. It's like, when am I going to do it? How's it fit into my routine? Because you can't make it hit and miss, because if you make it hit and miss, then it's going to be more likely miss than hit.
Yeah.
Ladies, anything you want to wrap up with?
I just think, go on.
No, sorry, see, you go.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that what you said, Peter, about just starting, and there are different options. So if you can't, and the convenience to me of being at home and doing it is that it just saves you time. So you can do a workout online, whichever way you do it. You know, what we just said, pre-recorded PT, group, whatever. And you save yourself an hour, I would say, by the time you get to the gym or by the time you get to the class, driving there, then you finish, then you have a chat, then you come home. You know, it's, if you are a busy person, why aren't you doing online?
Oh, totally. It's
That's
a no-brainer.
So
true. No-brainer.
Yeah. We often have our 5:30 ladies commenting that, you know, they're so grateful that they don't have to drive to our brick and mortar anymore because of that particular area and the horrendous traffic that is every day, all day, 7 days a week. And
That's
they just, they're so grateful that they don't have to drive in it.
But even as a trainer, you know, it would, you know, I often think on a Friday evening when I've finished the 5:30 session, I think, wow, I'm home. If I was out at the hall, it probably would take me an hour by the time I'd closed up and from where I live to where the hall, you know, where you haven't, all of that. So, you know, there's just so many benefits if you are time poor to get doing it online.
As someone who used to go to the gym in the mornings, you know, the routine was get up, have breakfast, pack lunch, you know, pack up the clothes to go to the gym, have the gym clothes on, head to the gym, you know, then unload everything at the gym, then go do the workout, then come back, then shower, then get changed, you know, then, you know, spruce yourself up a bit. So, and then get in the car and then drive to work, you know. So it was, you know, and if you couldn't get on a piece of equipment that you wanted to get, you know, on, you would then just stand around and you'd be waiting, or you'd have to find some type of alternate. So I used to find it very stressful. So I know that stress was a contributing factor for a lot of ladies. When we asked them, you know, why do you like online workouts? They went, I'm not sitting in the stress of that traffic anymore. I'm not having to rush around. All I'm doing is basically, you know, I get out of bed, I wake up, and I'm there, I'm ready to go. I want to wrap up with the number one reason we hear women don't work out, though. I don't have time. No, you know, but the number one reason you can work out online is it saves you time. So, you know, and that's what the ladies tell us all the time. We are saving so much time. So you're not leaving home, you know, you can do it in your home, you can do it in your office, you can do it when you're traveling, you can do it wherever you happen to be. So if you're a hectic woman, if you're a woman with a hectic schedule, this is just going to save you so much time commuting, packing up, you know, waiting in line for equipment, all the types of things. So really, you know, online workouts, we reckon they're the bomb. Totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And as women who have actually done both, we've actually been on the receiving end. So we're actually women who have been to gyms and we have worked out in a gym. We've also women who have worked out at home. We're also coaches who have worked out in both environments. So we understand all of those idiosyncrasies that go with each and every one of them. But there is one thing that I think we haven't really delved into, and that's that social connection. So I do hear a lot of women say, I don't get social connection, or I wouldn't get social connection. I need to be around people. Let's think about the main reason that you're exercising. You are exercising because you want to improve something in some way, shape, or form. So it is about you. Having people around you, yeah, that's a great thing. And we do want to have a social environment. There's no doubt about that. But it doesn't necessarily have to be the gym. There are so many other things that you can do, because when you're working out, you shouldn't be talking. You should be working out. So,
and your talking could be stopping that other person from working out, who is genuinely there to get the job done.
And that was one of my biggest peeves. It was like somebody would come up and get next to me and talk to me, and I'm thinking, it took every grain within me to say, can you just shut up? I'm not here to chat.
I'm here for a reason.
I'm here for a reason, yeah. But, we see that social connection. They pop on that little bit earlier. They have that natter beforehand if they're in the mornings. But if they're in the afternoon sessions, they come in, they're racing in from, whatever they've been doing around the house. And then what they're doing is they're staying at the end for those little bits of chats. And then what happens is like what we saw on Saturday. It's like all the Brizzy girls have gone, okay, it's time to have a bit of a catch up. And so what they do is they catch up, they have some lunch, and they get that social interaction and connection that they're looking for. But they get to know people on a much deeper level than having a general chin wag when they're trying to work out.
Yeah.
Oh, now I can get off my soapbox. Thanks for joining me, ladies.
Pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
All right, ladies, we shall see you all soon with our topic next week. It's going to be a really interesting one next week. We've already chatted about what it is. So stay tuned and we'll see you soon. See you all soon. Bye.
Bye.